On November 18th, Cloudflare accidentally broke half the internet for 6 hours. And if you tried to visit Twitter, ChatGPT, or even check if websites were down, you probably saw nothing but error pages. Here's the terrifying part. It wasn't a cyber attack. It wasn't a natural disaster. It was a single line of code that brought down billions of dollars worth of digital infrastructure. And here's what should keep you awake at night. This is exactly how fragile our entire digital economy really is. One company, one bug, one configuration change, and suddenly millions of businesses can't operate. Even Down Detector went down, which is like the fire department burning down during a city-wide fire. The irony was almost too perfect. Let me show you exactly what happened, because understanding this reveals just how concentrated our internet infrastructure has become. The culprit? Cloudflare's bot management feature. Sounds innocent enough, right? It's supposed to protect websites from malicious bots and scrapers. But on November 18th, it became a digital weapon of mass destruction. Here's the technical breakdown that caused chaos. A database permissions change caused multiple entries to be generated in a feature configuration file. That file doubled in size and got propagated to every single machine in Cloudflare's global network. The software that routes traffic couldn't handle the bloated file, and like a traffic jam that starts with one stalled car, the entire system ground to a halt. But here's where it gets really scary. Cloudflare doesn't just host websites. They're the invisible backbone of the internet that most people never think about. When Cloudflare goes down, it's not just one website, it's thousands. Twitter, ChatGPT, Letterboxd, Discord, Shopify stores, news websites, banking portals, all gone simultaneously. And because so many services depend on Cloudflare's CDN, DNS, and security features, the failure cascaded through the entire web ecosystem. It's like if all the roads in a city suddenly disappeared. Nothing can move. CEO Matthew Prince called it their most significant outage since 2019 and deeply painful. When the CEO of a company that prides itself on reliability uses words like deeply painful, you know it was catastrophic. This outage exposed something that should terrify every business owner and developer. We've created a single point of failure for the entire internet. Cloudflare handles roughly 20% of all web traffic. Think about that. One company controls the flow of 1 in 5 web requests globally. When they sneeze, the internet catches pneumonia, and it's not just Cloudflare. AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure. We've concentrated so much digital infrastructure into so few hands that a single configuration error can paralyze global commerce. The economic impact? Billions of dollars in lost revenue, productivity, and trust. E-commerce sites couldn't process orders. SaaS platforms couldn't serve customers. Remote workers couldn't access their tools. Here's what Cloudflare learned from their digital autopsy and why this could happen again tomorrow. The bug was in their bot management features configuration system. When they made what should have been a routine database permissions change, it triggered a cascade of duplicate entries in their configuration file. That bloated configuration file got pushed to every edge server in their global network. We're talking thousands of servers across hundreds of cities. Each server tried to process this massive file and choked. Cloudflare has now implemented global kill switches for certain features and better safeguards for configuration file distribution. But here's the question: what happens when the kill switch fails? This isn't just a Cloudflare problem. It's a fundamental design flaw in how we've built the modern internet. We've traded resilience for efficiency, and now we're paying the price. Remember when the internet was designed to root around damage? When it was supposed to be decentralized and fault-tolerant? We've abandoned those principles for the convenience of centralized services. And here's what keeps me up at night. This was an accident. Imagine what a coordinated attack on these infrastructure providers could do. We're not just talking about websites going down, we're talking about digital civilization grinding to a halt. Your business continuity plan probably doesn't account for what if Cloudflare breaks the internet. But after November 18th, maybe it should. So how do you protect yourself from the next infrastructure apocalypse? Here's your survival guide. First, diversify your infrastructure dependencies. Don't put all your eggs in one cloud basket. Use multiple CDNs, multiple DNS providers, multiple hosting regions. Second, implement proper monitoring and alerting. You need to know when your services are down before your customers do. Tools like Pingdom, Uptime Robot, or Status Page can be lifesavers. Third, have a communication plan. When everything breaks, how do you tell your customers what's happening? Social media, email lists, SMS. Have multiple channels ready. November 18th was a wake-up call that our digital infrastructure is more fragile than we want to admit. One configuration file, 6 hours of chaos, billions in losses. Next week, I'm diving into the SEC's shocking decision to drop their landmark SolarWinds case and what it means for cybersecurity accountability. Plus, how Europol just dismantled 3 major cybercrime operations in a single week. Subscribe because these infrastructure failures aren't getting less frequent, they're getting more catastrophic. Hit that notification bell, and remember, when the internet breaks, knowledge is your only backup.